Hello, people. Today, I want us to talk about bouncing back from setback. At times, we get frustrated because of the experiences that we are having in our lives. At times, we get frustrated because of what has befell us. So, that is what I want us to talk about. Life has got a way of making us feel frustrated, beating us down right, left, and center, and leaving us for us to collect ourselves and move on. That is the nature of life, and these are things that we cannot wish away. All we can wish is to have knowledge so that we can be able to handle these problems that are bound to come. They are always on their way, and so our attitude should always be, what can we do when this problem knocks on our threshold? So it is important that we point out a few steps, a few basic steps. These are basic steps, and probably you've learned them, but I just want to remind you because there is power in routine, or there is power in uh, remembrance through repetition, that you are able to gather some kind of nuggets of wisdom from what we share, and then use it for your own advantage. In this life is all about helping ourselves and helping each other, holding each other's hand through turmoils, through problems, providing a shoulder for someone to lean on when they are having a problem. And all these are very valuable, they are important, but the backstop with us, the backstop with you who is in the pit, who is in the problem. How do you spring back from that and be able to emotionally surmount the challenges and move forward and gain much from what you've gone through, and build something good from this kind of setback? So one of the things that we need to understand, that we need to acknowledge our emotions. We need to understand it is naturally okay for human beings to be disappointed and frustrated, even to get angry when we are faced with a problem. So what we need to do is to allow ourselves to go through these emotional experiences and recognize them, accept them, and focus on moving on. Right after doing that, we need to remind ourselves, what are we learning from this experience? What are you learning from that experience that you've just faced, that you've just encountered? Because most of the time these experiences brings forth a lot of lesson. They provide us opportunity to sometimes interrogate our lives, sometimes to analyze our lives and be able to understand what we are doing wrong and what we were doing right. And in a setback kind of situation, we need to look at what went wrong and how did we get there. Once we are able to identify that particular lesson that we are taking away from the problems that we are facing, we are good to go. And more so after getting to understand the problem and getting to identify what we did wrong and how we ended up there, it is also very important for us to maintain the perspective. We need not to lose the view or focus of the bigger picture. We need to remind ourselves that we need to stay focused. We need to remind ourselves that setbacks are natural part of life and often provide valuable learning experiences that help us to keep our life in perspective and not to lose focus. Now, we also need to understand there are those things that we can control. Probably there are a few or two things that we couldn't control in that problem. That is why we ended up there. Or the things that we could have controlled, but we neglected them, and therefore we ended up where we are at the moment. So we need to focus on what we can control. We need to look at ourselves and see, what are the things in this kind of scenario, in this kind of situation that I'm in, I can be able to control. And that is very important because it will help you to stay focused and to factor in very important elements of life and the experience that you have in order to journey through to your success, or to the success that you're looking for. We also need to stay flexible, and we need to always adapt. We need to be able to adapt as quickly as possible. We need to collect ourselves and try to adjust as quickly as possible, because it is important for us to spring back, with vigor and understanding. We need to look at what are the things that we can do immediately in order to keep us on that trajectory that we ought to be when facing these challenges. So those are very important key points, right? We need to acknowledge our emotions. We need to learn from the experience. We need to maintain the perspective. We need to focus on what we can control, and also we need to stay flexible, and we need to adapt as quickly as possible. We need not to be rigid, because if you are rigid, we'll end up losing on so many things. We'll end up wasting time on things that are not necessary. We'll end up wasting our time at a particular point, which can be detrimental for our forward movement. So thank you so much. See you next time.